So this is just a super quick and last minute video I'm making here to show you how easy it is to make breakfasts that help you lose weight and actually support muscle building. So this is going to be a high protein and delicious breakfast with just some mushrooms, egg whites, and some feta cheese. So I'm going to show you just the preparation and how to cook it for maximum taste. So we're just going to start off here just by cutting up some mushrooms. Don't make fun of my chopping skills here. It's a work in progress. So I just go for just some nice slices. You could chop them however you want. They don't have to be perfect. You could dice them, make them smaller, chop them however you want. And I find mushrooms just go so well with egg whites. I don't know why, but I like them a lot better than onions with egg whites. I find I like my onions more with whole eggs. But mushrooms, for some reason, work really well with egg whites and whole eggs. So that's just that easy. Like, how long did that take? Not very long at all. So you don't really have many excuses here to not be preparing your breakfasts, making them delicious, high protein and lower in calories. So there you have it. That's a ton of vegetables there that we're going to be having in our omelet. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to brown these mushrooms first. I'm going to add my egg whites, and then I'm going to add my low-fat feta. Okay, so this pan's been warming up, so it's pretty damn hot right now. We're on medium, and what we're going to do is we're just going to add some cooking oil. So obviously, you want to use as little oil as possible. So that's the key to actually, one of the keys actually to losing weight is to use a cooking spray. And if you're going to use oil out of a jug or whatever, use as little as possible. Trust me, you do not need nearly as much as they tell you for taste. So we're going to get a lot of taste here from our mushrooms. We're going to get a lot of taste, a lot of flavor, and that's the key. You got to just make your food taste good with as little calories as possible. And mushrooms in this case are a way to do it. Okay, so you always want to add salt. Add salt throughout your cooking. So we're going to add some salt to these mushrooms. Make them nice and flavorous. And some butter spray. So just a little bit of butter spray. We're putting the butter spray in second here so it doesn't burn. And there you go, you already have some browning. So you don't gotta brown them perfectly here, you just gotta cook them out a little, bring out some flavors. And the next thing that you want to add is your egg whites. Got the egg whites right here. So I got this low-fat feta here, and you would be surprised how tasty this low-fat feta is. It adds a lot of flavor. So it's got about 5 grams of fat for every 7 grams of protein. So when you are buying like a low-fat cheese, if it's not like some cheap American processed cheese, you'll be very lucky when you're seeing that the fat is less than the protein per serving. So this is a pretty good ratio, and you're going to be getting a lot of flavor. So trust me, you do not want to add American cheese or processed cheese to this because it's going to ruin your whole dish. Okay, so I'm all about making things taste good, but not being super strict on the calories. All right, so now we got the egg whites. So I'm going for roughly 200 to 300 grams of egg whites here. And yes, I do make this quite a bit, so I can eyeball it, right? So if you're new to this, you can measure it until you get good at it, and then you'll kind of have an eye for it when you're using the same pan over and over. You're going to know approximately how much you're eating. So now the feta next. So you don't have to eat boring plain egg whites every single day. So this here is a pretty decent chunk of feta. It's not much, but it adds a lot of flavor to this, okay? So you'll have guys eating plain egg whites, forcing them down. There's no reason for that. You know, you got your delicious mushrooms here, you've got your feta, and this really comes together great. So it's gonna add some saltiness to this too. And we already salted the mushrooms. So it should be salty enough, but I probably will add a little bit more salt. You always want to be generous with the salt. See, the thing is, when you're eating something that's like low in fat, low in calories, you gotta salt it enough. And we're also getting flavors from the cheese, from the mushrooms. So it's really gonna help this dish go down. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn up the heat here. It's obvious, you know, the egg whites brought the temperature of the pan down quite a bit. And another thing to keep in mind is your egg whites fall apart so much faster than whole eggs. So this dish does not have to be pretty. So if you're not very good at like flipping it or turning it over or whatever, and it falls apart, totally fine. It's egg whites, doesn't have to look pretty. Just eat it and don't complain about it. And as you cook it more and more, you're gonna be handling it a lot better. You're gonna see how fragile it is and how easy it falls apart when you're moving it around or flipping it or whatever. So I'm probably gonna mess it up here because we are on camera, but I'm gonna fold it in half, and then that way it kind of traps in the heat and cooks well. So of course you're gonna wanna be cooking with like a non-stick pan. So if you don't have a non-stick pan, I don't know what the hell you've been cooking with, but you're gonna need a lot more oil. Gonna give it an attempt here, and it looks like it needs a little bit longer. So obviously it is a little bit of a better idea here if you actually cover this. So if you cover it, the steam is gonna cook the top of the egg whites, but I don't know where I put my cover right now. But yeah, ideally you do wanna cover this, it would be a lot better. But hey. All right, we're just gonna fold this in half here. And as you can see, it's not perfect, but who cares? It's gonna go down and it's gonna taste great. So I'm just gonna taste the mushroom here. Nice and salty. It's hot. So I promise you, you will not get sick of this anytime soon. It is one of the better omelettes that I've made. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. And hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and you'll be seeing a lot more of this. So if you want to lose weight, gain muscle, eat tasty foods, this is the place to be. If you want to keep getting bigger and bigger, go follow other cooking channels. If you want to lose weight, look good, this is the place to be.